Right, so welcome back to part 2 of our examination, our partial post-mortem of the dumpster fire of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 release. In case you missed part 1, checking
The
the link
sky is
go...
not the limit. The servers are the limit.
They're so it's the meme was real. So folks, if you are just tuning in now and you missed part 1, link in the description down below. Go back, check out part 1, and then come back and join us for part 2. If you've come straight from part 1, I really hope you grabbed a snack because you are going to need it. We've got, features that are not present that were promised at launch. We've got, basic fundamentals of multiplayer not live on launch. We've got basic features not present.
The marketplace is not there. Of all things,
Are you not
marketplace.
without a marketplace?
That's the one that I am the least worried about. Not being there.
But look, Tristan, but it's a core thing. I have to be honest with you.
You know what? You're right.
I was expecting a lot of things to fail. And I was expecting a lot of features to have issues or not be there, because we have suspected for a long time that, this would happen.
Yeah.
We noticed that, the beta was the version that we tried at the Grand Canyon was well advanced. Yes. But it made us wonder if we would be ready for prime time. The tech alpha was even worse than the one that we tried at the Grand Canyon. So we didn't have a very, very good notion. Right, Jose? I think you felt the same.
Yeah.
It felt like a step backwards in regard with
and
Grand
I believe
Canyon.
Officially it was.
Yeah, I think it was. So we weren't quite sure, but this is software. We know that, deadlines get in the way of development. We knew that something was going to give in. So it's, unfortunately, people don't like it, and they start to say that we are giving excuses. It's not a matter of excuses. It's just how it is. I've worked in the software business. You, Tristan, work in the software business.
Yep.
You know how it is, right? It is what it is. But of all the things, the marketplace was the thing that I thought it would be ready. Even if some of the features weren't, like, the ability for you to rent add-ons, et cetera, even if that wasn't, I was expecting for us to be able to actually, purchase some of the add-ons.
And
maybe
actually, now I think about that, because the marketplace was active from day one on 2020, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And
so do you think the devs were like, no, we're going to hit the floor running? We're not ready.
I don't know what it was. I know there are some features that they are doing. They're working on some features.
All I'm going to say to Artsy that one, from a personal perspective, as a developer who has products on the marketplace, I'm being very careful how I phrase this, there was no discussion about 2024 with me.
And there's only so much damage control you can expect, like media, content creators and stuff to do. We take it upon ourselves to do a lot of the damage control literally right now, since launch, basically. A lot of us have been trying to, put our best foot forward when we're able to get in.
We all manage
the Facebook thing.
Yep, we all manage Facebook
media,
groups, social medias. Yep.
We're doing a lot of the work for you. I mean, that's why I got to give the golf clap to Microsoft and Asobo for coming out with that video, and of course for also doing the continuous status update. But you got a tough road ahead here, and I can't guarantee to get my videos up on time. Maybe Jose can. I can't.
Yeah, I've been lucky being able to get in overall pretty smooth. I think my challenge was I already made a video talking about the initial impressions and is it worth it? But I was struggling because I even told you guys in the chat, I'm like, I don't want to censor the group. We're 11,000 members. It gets, during these big updates, the users just completely spike. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 active members. And a lot of people who aren't always there, they're commenting, they're looking, people posting every single emotion, thought, feeling, idea, question. And so
every possible brain
you
fart
didn't even
goes
know
at
we're
the-
in the group that have been there
Yes.
for years, never said a word day one.
And
All
so
of a sudden,
I'll often like click on people and I'm like, when was the last time? I'm like, when did they join and how often have they commented? And I'm like, oh my God. Because like, I'm like, okay, so how much am I going to invest in this? Sometimes people just go off with the random things and they like to complain. And I think people, you know, misery loves company. People want to be heard, you know, and then, you know, there's some people celebrating, hey man, this is great. I'm having some of the best times of my life. And those posts just kind of like sink to the bottom, you know, and there's a few people, hey, that's awesome. But then everyone who's like, you know, carrying the pitchfork, just trying to be angry, it's just like growing. And I don't want to censor, but
the pitchforks are so much more fun. Like let's be honest here, and this is something that is not absolutely, you know, unique, shall we say, to flight simming. It was actually a really, really great putting it. You know, misery loves company.
That's a great band, by the way.
I mean, I've pretty much experienced the gamut on that. Like I said, you know, I had the one video that I did because I felt like I needed to, you know, at least get a first impression, a first look, you know, give the old man's guide to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Is it worth it? Which I'd like to think I did a pretty positive video. It's got lesser views than some of the 2020 videos that I've done, and it's definitely got a hell of a lot less retweets than the 97% Club meme that I made a few hours before I made that video.
Yep.
Like I said, bad news travels faster than good.
I haven't even written anything about this version.
I've noticed that.
And part of it, it's because I'm having issues loading. And like I said, honestly, 15 minutes, and the other reason is my own pitchfork. And let me just change my background here.
You know,
and talk about...
I was just about to just talk about this. I was about to sort of lean into this as a next topic. And
talking about pitchforks, I have something I'd like to address with Microsoft.
Here we go.
Which is,
boy.
Dear Microsoft. So one of the things I've been really excited about for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is the ability of playing missions and do stuff like firefighting and sling loading and all that kind of stuff that, you know, helicopters do. And then I found out, this is only available on the career mode, which is okay. I mean, I have no issues with, you know, doing the certifications and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, I realized that the very first thing that I have to do before even actually starting career mode is flying a fucking Cessna.
What's wrong with flying a Cessna? You've flown one in real life.
He's got you there. He's got you there.
It's my time.
I was there.
So I'll fly the fucking Cessna. And then, of course, I was already waiting for this. I have to take the PPL, which means, oh, you guessed it, I had to fly a fucking Cessna. So I flew a fucking Cessna. And after I flew on the fucking Cessna, I was like, I'm done. I'm going to do the helicopter certification. But guess what? I need to do 2 missions. And I had to fly a fucking Cessna. And I did the 2 missions. And I unlocked the helicopter thing, which should be unlocked from the beginning. And then I realized that to unlock that thing, I actually had unlocked it, but to actually do the thing, I had to use credits. And how
public credits are no good here.
And how do you make credits? You fly missions. And you fly missions with what? The fucking Cessna. Now, I don't want to fly the fucking Cessna, Microsoft. I don't like the fucking Cessna.
Pretty soon we're going to have like those gold spammer accounts
Look,
Yeah.
Drew.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Drew.
people just mining.
Oh
credits.
my god! It's the next generation
Drew.
of WoW gold miners.
I have flown fixed wing. During this week, I've flown more fixed wing than I did the last 15 years. Because they forced me to fly the fucking Cessna.
Hey, Jorg.
And I still don't have the helicopter certification because I don't have the credits because I don't want to fly the fucking Cessna. So I'm fucking done.
Hey, Jorg.
I'm not doing it.
Hey, Jorg, if you're watching, be careful.
I'm pissed.
Be careful because I think you have a horrible feeling you're about to wake up with a Jesus nut in your bed.
Yep, it's gonna happen.
I'm honestly, guys, I am frustrated. I knew that we had to
ask
go
about that.
Didn't they?
And this
were you supposed to be able to skip this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I was told was, you'll just have to do it for the first 30 minutes and then you're done. No, it's not 30 minutes, man.
It's hours.
It's not 30 minutes.
That's hours.
I don't.
That's a free to play grind.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. I find it, and you guys know that. I'm pretty chill. I understand things, but it's just stupid. It's stupid. Forcing me. I understand that this is something that they have to. I'm okay with this. Actually, I'm okay with the fact that they have a career mode, in which you get credits and all that stuff. That's fantastic for people that like it. But here's the thing. Mm-hmm. If you are going to hide the mission system, the ability for me to do firefighting, sling loading, crop dusting, and all that stuff behind the career mode, just don't fucking force me to play the game. Allow me to do it without having to earn the credits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm okay with, I could even be okay. I'm not, because you can actually start a career mode in helicopters without having to go through fixed wing. You don't have to fly fixed wing aircraft to get there's a thing called PPLH, right? Which is not in that thing behind me. It's not there. So you have the PPL for fixed wing aircraft. And then for the helicopter, it's actually a commercial thing. So this thing over here, it's a commercial certification for helicopters.
Yeah.
There's the thing called PPLH. So in my opinion, we should be able to select either one or the other.
Yes.
Because I would do the PPLH. I'm okay with then, doing all the other certifications, but don't force me to earn credits for the certification. And I'm okay with falling with 3. Perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with having the certifications. I could not be fine. I could just say, look, I just want to fly free flights, but with missions. I think that would be reasonable to be able to do that and not having to go through the career mode. I understand technically why they probably did it. It was easier to implement, its structure, et cetera, et cetera. I'm okay with that. But forcing me to go through the game side, again, I have nothing against. I'm not talking about game versus sim, but there is a gamification of the sim. There's a part that is gamified. Perfectly fine with that. I can still fly free flight, right? So it's okay. But the fact that the stuff that I want to do that got me super excited about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is behind a wall that forces me to do things I don't want to do because I don't want to fly fixed wing aircraft. I haven't flown fixed wing aircraft in years. I'm not even kidding. I haven't flown fixed wing aircraft in years. And the last week I was forced to do it because I wanted to start seeing the helicopter side of things. And between the fact that I have to wait 15 minutes for the sim to load and the fact that I have to fly, I don't know how many more missions with fixing aircraft, I gave up. I just gave up.
And that's...
I'm still shocked. I'm just shocked that you've actually had to do more grinding in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 than I've had to do playing Dragon Age Veilguard or Star Wars. That's just nuts. It blows my mind.
I played World of Warcraft and it wasn't as bad.
That's saying a lot. Microsoft, pay attention.
And folks, just for reference, he's not talking about modern retail WoW, if you're in WoW at the moment. No, he's talking 15 years ago.
Vanilla
OG vanilla WoW is what he's talking about. He's talking about that grind. Okay, so yeah, and it's interesting, Sergio, because yeah, because I was actually about to talk about like the two couple of the new game modes that are in there, the career mode and the challenge mode. We asked the community, how many things did you have you tried it yet? Did you try it, whatever at the moment? Did you try the career mode, and did you try the challenge league mode? So far, the respondents,
nope and nope.
Basically, yeah, that was the response. Is that to be fair, career mode, we had 39% had tried career mode, but only 11% had tried the challenge mode. In terms of responses, it was kind of interesting with the career mode. Is that a lot of issues with bugs. And again, much like you said, Sergio, they love the concept. It's a bit of a gimmick. It's kitschy, but they love it. Because much like we talked about in our our last video about this, where we talked about, it's there for the people who are starting out. The people who have never flown, who might have only flown Ace Combat before, or might have only flown I don't know, Disney's planes or something like that. Like, they want to try something new, and this gives them a structured, guided journey. And in terms of that, things like earning the credits to get your next license certificate makes sense, because it's helping to reinforce the lessons and the concepts and the things, just like in real learning, just like you do in real aviation. You get to reinforce those concepts. But I definitely agree that the fact, and we talked about it previously in the previous video, and again, I'm struggling to understand. Again, going back to what we talked about before, considering how big and how wide the community is that they talk to every fucking week, why there isn't a bypass mode, even if it was only if you language learning, for example, a lot of those like language learning apps or math apps and stuff like that, it basically, if you want to skip ahead or skip to the end of a lesson, you have to do a verification check where it gives you basically the hardest things it would have out of that lesson block and say, hey, if you can do these, fine, we'll let you bypass it. Or even just have a thing in the settings that says,
but that's
unlimited money.
Tristan, but that's there. Here's the thing. You don't have to go through the lessons to actually go to the final exam. That's possible. What you're saying.
So basically, you just need you need an unlimited money cheat.
That's the thing. Yeah, because I have to purchase the next exam with credits. It's the next exam. I think my character has like 3,000 credits, and I need 3,500 credits. So I'm short 500 credits. And even if I did that, I wouldn't have credits for the next one. So yeah, I mean, something like, I wouldn't say infinite credits, but just remove the credit stuff for people that don't want to do it.
I think have it as an option, turn it on and off. Turn it on and off. Like the same in City Skylines and SimCity back in the day, where you can have it where you have the real budget, and then, or you can have it as a money is not an object, you just built. Same kind of thing. You could still have the structured system, you could still do the tree, but it's just we're going to forget about money for this one. I think that would be a better solution to have that. Because the first thing that popped into my head when you started talking about credits was, oh dear God, if they'd start doing microtransactions to be able to pre-buy that shit, then fuck Microsoft. Then no,
Yeah.
I will go on a rant.
I will not just go on a rant. I'll be done. I'll find a different game.
Yeah, I don't want to support that.
If they do microtransactions,
no, I don't think that's it. No,
I don't think it is either. But it's just
I don't know.
It's really worrying because I can see it, like that, and that's the part. That's the part because I play World of Warships, so I see that's right there. And
or just a level of gamification that's, again, I'm not against it, but it's just kind of like, we're simmers at heart, right? We want simulation, we want systems, we want depth. like I appreciate them. What are those programs that let you have a career mode, right? There's a couple paid ones like, hey, how can we integrate that? How can we give people a reason? Hardcore simmers don't need a reason to jump in and fly. I will happily sit here and work a pattern, take the Viper up, do anything on my own without a reason to fly. Same for you. Like, I want to do this trip. I don't have a lot of time, but I can do this. So the fact that we have to jump through hoops, and actually I was surprised, Sergio, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, the first thing, firefight. I'm like, where? I'm like, where is it? And I was just kind of like clicking. I'm like, okay, where's the sling load? I'm like, what? Where's all the stuff? And so I didn't realize, is that what you're saying? So it's hitting. I have to like unlock it in career mode.
Yeah, you have to unlock it, and then you have it as missions.
So the missions is on the world. It's going to show fires everywhere that we can go and put out.
Yeah.
So I thought I thought that was part of it. You can do that, but also if you want to have a career, have a career. Oh man, that's so gross. I'm traumatized. There's going to be a solution to this. Watch.
Yeah, I know. I actually sent Edson from Parallel 42 a message saying that the community needs him.
You know he's already putting on his Parallel 42 superhero outfit. You know he already is. 100%.
I'm just gonna throw it out there, Edson. I need that redheaded co-pilot.
I hope he is, because I always understood that it was the case, Jose, that we had this behind the mission system, so the career mode system, and I was okay with it, as long as, because I understood that it actually generates those missions randomly. So right. I did the PPL, and when I did the PPL, so I have some taxi missions to fly around. If you actually know the area, it's a bit stupid. So I have some missions that to take off from Air Force bases and stuff like that, just to take someone around and then see the city. But yeah, it is what it is. The system doesn't know what Air Force bases are yet, so it's just kind of normal. But yeah, you have a few missions, you have a few taxi missions, and I assume that it will be the same. So
yeah,
if I take the firefighting certification, I will probably find some fires to fight and stuff like that.
Crazy. I thought that was going to be part of it, and then I totally thought the license career credits was its own independent thing, and I think that's maybe my fault for misunderstanding it. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to take a page out of Forza or one of these other games, and
I don't know, man. I know what it is, but it would be a lot easier if they took the freaking credit stuff out of the way, because at least you'd be able to do that.
Can I share something on the credits that I read, and maybe you can let me know if this is true? So I guess there's different steps you have to take on the mission, right? You have to taxi, you have to do this, you have to do certain things. There's certain things you can skip, and so something I saw reported earlier, which I just read online right now. So people are like, hey, the money I'm supposed to get paid is 3,000 credits. Right. And I guess you said a certification is 3,500 or whatever. Yeah. And someone's like, I only make 500 credits
because you're skipping
after it's all said and done.
Because you're skipping. And so
someone else said, yeah, apparently when you skip just one thing, the deductions are through the roof. so you get nerfed.
Again, quality of life. This is the importance of proper beta testing, proper alpha and beta testing.
Someone says, hey, you know what? There's hardcore. Who's your audience, right? When you know your audience, you know what to provide for them, And there's two different audiences here, maybe even more if we really want to dissect it, right? But if you're able to kind of play to those key people at the beginning of the game, what if it said hey, are you a hardcore simmer? Or do you just give us a choice and just
like the bullshit thing that Adobe does when you launch Acrobat. It's like, have you used PDF before? Yes, I have. Yeah. Fuck off. But
bring Clippy back.
Yes, vote one Clippy, 100%. I want Clippy back. So, I guess, as I said, the other one is the challenge mode, which basically no one has tried. But the feedback on both of them is that they're great concepts. And again is.
Sorry, go ahead. No. I thought you were over. You didn't ask about World Photographer.
I didn't ask World Photographer.
Anybody tried it?
Well, to be honest, I didn't. So
I like it.
I know you were really impressed by it back in Grand Canyon. So does it continue to meet your expectations?
Yes, it's a very simple concept. It's just you have a photograph mode that you get in, you take a screenshot, the sim analyzes it and provides you with, just tells you, okay, you have done it or not. And then you have up to 3 stars that you can earn if you do some extra stuff. So, for example, you can take a photo, but from a certain angle or at a certain time of day, or, getting the sun behind your aircraft, stuff like that. So you can actually compose the photo and earn more stars.
Okay.
I like the concept. We've all been taking screenshots for years, but I like the concept because it actually gets you to explore some regions of the world that you probably wouldn't, or some things that you probably wouldn't find.
Which I'm always going to support. I'm always going to support anything like that. It's one of the reasons why I love,
It's
Neofly, Sky Park, is because it makes me go to places I would never have gone to in a million years.
I saw a screenshot some time ago, a couple of months ago, perhaps. Someone that posted on one of the groups, the Eye of the Sahara, which is a geological formation in the Sahara that actually looks like an eye. And it's actually one of the photographer challenges.
Beautiful.
It's the Eye of the Sahara. It's really nice. Yeah. It's really cool.
Nice.
The only thing that I would change, and I told this to Azobo when we were back at Grand Canyon, there's only one thing that I would change in this, which would be when you do this, you actually start in the year close to whatever you want to photograph, right? The only thing that I would probably change would be to have the ability to either do that if you just want to take the screenshots, or take off from a nearby airport
and go and find it.
Do the actual, do the actual flight into it and back to the airport, stuff like that.
That'd be so
it's
nice.
The only thing, it's the only thing that I would change. Other than that, right now it's my favorite feature of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. It's a thing that I spent more time
in an F-14 Tomcat and okay, target is in sight. All right, let's break out the Nikon.
So
it actually pauses the sim. So when you enter photography mode, it pauses the sim. You can move the camera.
Where's the fun in that?
Well, it's just for you to
I want to buzz giraffe and elephants. I'm going to buzz giraffe and elephant.
Have you seen me when I was using a helicopter and then went outside to take some external? Yeah,
that went well.
So
what if you added some credits to that?
It did. So add some credits to that. Oh,
earn credits.
Jose, you may be about to wake up with a Jesus nut in your bed.
I know.
So I think that I think that might be we might be getting to as much as we can all handle for the moment, because but I did want to wrap up with a couple of things that I got from a couple of stats that I got from here, and then get everybody's final thoughts. So we asked a series of questions about how the community feels that Microsoft and Asobo handled some things, with the launch. So, communication with the community. So that was overwhelmingly not good. Was 48% not well, extremely or somewhat, compared to only 30.5% well. Access to the title, however, access to the title as well was also very, very negative, overwhelmingly so. 60+% access to the title was negative. Addressing community concerns, however, is where we start to see a switch. Where we start to see 33% somewhat well or extremely well community concerns addressed, as opposed to 36% not well or extremely not well. And providing timely updates and solutions. And again, I think this says a lot towards them posting the video. Was providing 40.7% extremely well or somewhat well. So I think that goes to show that it it's communications is key, as we've talked about on this show many times. But the final thing that I'm going to say before I hand it over to you guys, because as I said, I can't make a comment on the actual sim itself because I still don't have it. Because hey, Aerosoft, can you get your shit together, please? Because so the final thing the final stat that I want to talk about, I want to give to you all from what we collected. As I said, this is just the survey that we did. I'm not saying that this is across everybody, but I think it's indicative. So we're asked, what have been your overall thoughts about the new sim? In every possible context. 24.7% very poor. 12.3% poor, 7.4% neutral, 32.1% good, and 23.5% excellent. So it is skewed.
That's a lot better than Steam.
So it's now I'm not saying that a lot of us, as we said before, I've always said give it time and all the rest of it. Now I think people are right to be upset, because this is not Microsoft and Asobo's first rodeo. So for them to cock this up this badly is not forgivable. But at the same time, the core of an improved and better quality sim is absolutely there and is starting to shine through. But they're going to have to deal with one hell of a bad public image. So
yeah,
I'm going to hand it over to, we're going to go around. So Jose, closing thoughts from you, sir.
Closing thoughts. So my thought is this. How many games have we seen that have made that amazing comeback and have just been epic games, right? From really failures of launches, No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk 2077. I feel like Microsoft is going to do it. I think it's going to take time. I think it's unfortunate, but I am optimistic that they're going to get there. So thank you guys for having me on. And I think, I want to say be patient. I understand people are frustrated, but I'm not refunding it. The VR performance has been so good for me that I'm pretty close to uninstalling 2020. The only reason I won't is just because if there's a server outage, what am I going to do? And that kind of, I don't know. I'm going to hold on to 2020 for now. But my final thoughts. Thanks.
The Don.
I have faith in the title. I have faith that things will eventually get there.
Yeah.
The potential is there. Features are there. Fucking Cessna. But I think I think Microsoft and Asobo need to do what they do best, which is they do listen to the community. Unfortunately, they do not listen to the community in advance, in the sense that, like we discussed, they don't get in touch with us before doing whatever they want to do, which again, I think it's a shame. And I think they're losing a lot because of that. But yeah, it is what it is. They know we're here. We have told them several times. I do believe the title has potential. I am really hopeful and expecting and hoping that they solve all the issues very soon and we can have the sim stable so that we can, because we even haven't started looking at things in a deeper way, right? I mean, I'm not even, I didn't even talk, because I didn't even have the chance to actually test it. I didn't even talk about flight dynamics or how helicopters have improved or not in the new sim. Drew probably haven't had any. Well, he didn't have any time with his fighters and getting to understand what works or not. Jose has been happy with VR, and it probably get better as time comes. I'm not going to even mention you, Tristan, because I feel like there's a teardrop trying to escape my eye, and I'm sorry for you, man.
So the irony is that I miss the launch day shit show, and I'll come in probably by the time it gets here on a slow boat from China. I'll probably come in and everything will be working exactly as it was supposed to. So my experience is probably going to be great.
Knowing how lucky you are, when the package arrives your home, you can sell it as a vintage item. So I was saying, I am hoping that I think that this will be a good title. But I also think that, honestly, I believe we have an even bigger road ahead than we had with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. A lot of stuff was improved, but I feel like there's a lot more on this launch that, and not even talking about, the issues with the servers. I have this overall feeling that it feels even more unfinished than 2020 did. And 2020 didn't even have helicopters, right? So that's how worried I am, but also hopeful.
I mean, I suppose to pick up on that, I suppose you're worried because it's not finished, but also because it's not finished, there's a lot of hope there then, and there's a lot of opportunity and potential. Two different ways of looking at it.
Yes, perhaps, but also
a lot of worry.
But also if more is lacking, the chances that we have those things fixed are reduced. Because they won't have the time to focus on everything.
And there's 2 sims now.
Yeah.
Is it the same team working on 2 sims?
Plus that, that doesn't help.
I think if I remember correctly, they said that it's essentially a maintenance team only on 2020 now. But it's still resources. It's still resources. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Don. To purple hat wearing redhead and tomcat aficionado, current Skyrim architect and builder.
I'm just glad that this works. I am extremely grateful that I do not have to do the same exact fight that I did for all those months leading up to 2020.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And shortly thereafter, when we had the beta test to make sure that, VR was actually going to work. Because remember, the sim came out in August, September, something like that. And we didn't get VR until December. I am so glad that they listened to us, that they paid attention, that all the nagging and passing the baton on to Jose as my, follow-up protege, whatever you want to call it. He's now the VR guru.
Yep.
Yeah. I am really glad that we did not have to go through that. With that having been said, I see a lot of potential. I see areas where this sim can really soar. And I'm confident that they can do it. Marketing needs to get off their ass, but I'm really confident that this sim can go the next 4 years, really pushing the horizon. And I'm looking forward to 10-year-old Timmy asking questions in Facebook group. Hey, I'm really excited about this. I'd like to learn how to fly. How do I start doing this Microsoft Flight Simulator thing? I want to be able to tell 10-year-old Timmy, okay, this is what you do, and so on and so forth. But I can't do that until you sort your shit out.
Mm-hmm. And 10-year-old Timmy is actually the perfect person to send to the career mode.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's going to teach him. It's going to teach 10-year-old Timmy.
The first thing you got to do when you're learning to fly, get money. Or credits, whatever you want to call it.
How do you the old adage of how do you make a small fortune in aviation? Start with a large one.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I do like the way the sim is going, and I do feel that it has a very bright future. And again, with that said, I haven't touched the sim all week. I played it on the 19th. I did my recording. I haven't even opened it up. I saw that we now have a patch as of today, the 22nd.
Yep.
There's now an update patch for the sim. I'll probably run that before I go to bed tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I need to do X-Plane, I need to do DCS, I need to finish up Dragon Age Veilguard, and I'm still working on Skyrim Creation Kit. I'm getting too old for this. I don't have time for all of this stuff. I'm not sitting in the queue for 3 hours at 97%. Once you get everything sorted out, let me know. And especially to Microsoft and Asobo, you've got the golden resources here. You've always had the golden resources.
Yeah.
You're looking at 4 of them right here. Use your freaking resources. Start the focus groups. Do more ongoing beta tests. Don't skimp on that part. It will prevent stuff like this from happening in the future. And that's all I got to say about that.
I guess as the only person here who has not been able to get the sim because reasons, I guess I can sort of speak to it from the outside perspective of everything these 3 fine gentlemen have said is absolutely correct. And I think that the super frustrating part for me, above anything else and beyond everything else, I've been drinking up, all the coverage and watching it all, the positive, the negative, the in between, because I have to live vicariously through, through everybody else at the moment because, as I said, I don't have the sim. I think that the frustrating part for me is that Microsoft and Asobo have clearly demonstrated that everything that we have talked about and everything that we have said that would have most likely, if not resolved all of these launch day issues, at least mitigated them. They have clearly demonstrated that they know exactly how to do that and exactly how to tap those resources at some point in the last 4 years. And it's like they got amnesia right when they needed to be reaching out. And no, seriously, think about it. All of a bunch of promotional trailers and content that was released throughout the life of the sim with various world updates, sim updates, blah, 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 features community-made content. Not official liveries, not store purchasable stuff available on flightsim.to. It was, features, I'd seen sceneries featured that were on flightsim.to that were non-Microsoft content. I have seen liveries that were. They've engaged content creators. They have featured Mr. BelGeode as, on one of their, community members highlights. They've featured Sergio, letting everybody know about the glory of the helicopter mafia.
The helicopter mafia. I was going to say, is this where we reveal our secret and nefarious plan, Tristan? Because you didn't invite us to Grand Canyon, we did the juju on your sim.
But they've clearly shown they've seen the light when it came to VR. The fact that they are promoting the fact that the hero,
IMAX, $10 off
control stuff. Yes,
yeah.
But let's be honest, the discount, that was a bit of a joke. Sorry, marketing. What the fuck were you smoking? But the fact that they're even promoting VR. Not because it's traditionally always been head tracking. It's never head tracking or eye tracking. It's never been VR. This was the first time that, if I remember correctly, any Microsoft or Microsoft affiliated title has actively promoted VR. So that's a big one. So
it is.
Microsoft and Asobo have clearly shown that they listen to us. They've clearly shown that they know these resources are here. So why the ever-loving fuck did they not use them? It just boggles my mind.
We're just blaming marketing. It's all marketing.
And sorry, if you're from marketing and you weren't involved, sorry, we do love you. But seriously, it's super frustrating. And to be quite honest, and I know, Sergio, you thought you were going to get through a whole episode without me talking about it, but absolutely, I'm going to talk about it, is that it's Flight. I have horrific, horrible feelings that I'm about to see.
PTSD. Yes.
I still have PTSD from Flight. That I'm about to see what happened to Flight happen again. Because think about it. One of the big things that everybody is bitching about is that this is always online. You must be online to play. Everything is streamed. Everything is online. Blah, blah, blah. guess what? Flight was always online too.
That was the test.
And guess what? It worked. And it worked. Now, admittedly, they weren't streaming terrain. Okay, fair. But the concept started then. The proof of it started then. So it really frustrates me that this is not their first rodeo. They've had the sim release before. They've had the releases. They've had 12 world updates and sim updates. They've given...
I think more than that.
Well, they've given us one update, whether it be sim or world, every month for 4 years. So they know what it looks like. They know the interest is out there. How did this happen? And that's fundamentally the thing that scares me the most, is that I am horrified that this was forced out the door before it was ready, because in my mind, it's clearly not ready. Like you said, Sergio, I see a lot of potential in it. I'm seeing a lot of good things. Everything that I've seen in Drew's video, everything I saw in your streams, Jose, is that this sim is great. It has got a lot of the things that I was asking for. It's missing a few things, but it's clearly not ready for prime time. And not in the way that MSFS wasn't ready for prime time. This doesn't even meet that bar. And this is an upgrade, not even a brand new, not even, ground up rebuild. So I guess my thing is that, like you, Sergio, and like all of you, all three of you, Jose, Sergio, Drew, is that I have a lot of hope, I have a lot of belief, but I also have a lot of fear that this may be the end. And yeah, you're right. We saw Cyberpunk make a turnaround. We've seen other titles make turnarounds, but they're going to have to pull something pretty big out of their hat, out of their flight helmet, to be able to save this one. And that's my worry. So.
I have one final question.
Yep.
Do you think, and this, I saw this show today, people are saying, can we get them to change the architecture to go from non-streaming to on the computer? I don't think that's on the table. And I saw that, I forgot to mention that earlier, but there's a reason they're running with this model. I wish they knew more in depth. I mean, they're promoting it in a certain way on how it helps us, but I kind of don't see that happening. I don't know.
Whether you like it or not, we're still all guinea pigs.
That's an architecture change, and I'm not sure I see that.
So the only comment I'm going to make to that is that one of the things that the prepared player base seemed to never realize was that Lockheed Martin didn't give two shits about the general user base.
Correct.
The only reason Lockheed Martin, and I speak for this as somebody who used to work for LM, and I don't say this and this isn't meant as a jab at Lockheed Martin, or I'm saying that they're evil or anything for this, is that it's not that they don't care about you because they think you're evil or you're shit or you're not worth anything. No, they don't care about you because your $200 that you pay them for your license of prepared doesn't mean squat next to the tens of millions that get paid for by defense training organizations and flying schools around the world for the version that you at home do not get. The home user for Lockheed Martin's prepared, you are a paying beta tester. You are paying to test features that will be rolled out to government, corporate, and defense customers in 2, 5, 10 years' time.
That's interesting, yeah.
I'm not going to say that this is the same thing, but what I am saying is that do they care about our experience? Do Jorg and Sebastian care about our user experience as the end user? Yes, they absolutely do. I firmly believe that. But getting the end user, for the consumer end user, to do a structural change for them from streaming to local, would it be possible? I believe yes. Will it be done? No. There would have to be something really significant, like, for example, the what was that campaign? Don't Stop Killing Games campaign. To be honest, if that would be the only way you would see that switch from being online only to local architecture option only, is if it was a legally enforceable requirement in one of their major markets. If that happens, yes, absolutely, you'll see it happen overnight.
This is why they call it the bleeding edge.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you got to bleed.
Yeah. And rightly or wrongly, we're bleeding that because this is, I'm not that into it, but my guess is this is probably, I'm not going to say this is the first game to ever run full cloud-based and with a thin client with what's essentially amounts to a thin client on the user's end. But I'm going to bet that this is possibly, if not the largest, then one of the largest bandwidth draws. I think that would be a reasonable thing to assume, because the amount of data that you will have to stream to be able to get that photogrammetry down, to have it look that good.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah. I think, is it possible? Yes. Are they going to do it? No. Not without a outside factor forcing their hand would be the only way it would happen.
Yeah.
Would that be
fair problem?
Fair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Good way to end it. Yep.
So with that cheery message, we're going to wrap up our examination and our at least partial post-mortem of the still smouldering dumpster fire that was the launch of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I do want to say a huge thank you to our special guest for the episode, Jose from the TheVRPilot. So, folks, don't forget to check out TheVRPilot's content. He does some great work over on YouTube, so link will be in the description down below. And, of course, thank you once again to my two long-suffering fellow Grumpy Simmers, of course, paying my respects to the Don of the Helicopter Mafia, who finally can say that, yes, holy shit, it has helipads. And how many helipads?
Oh, man.
Everywhere.
Oh, so many.
So many
Everywhere. Helipads. Helipads everywhere. I did it, guys. I did it.
Now he's going to unlock his plan for his next plan in his steps for world domination. So don't forget to check out Helisimmer.com for all your latest helicopter and general flight simulation release news and information available now. And check out his channel for some great, cool video content. And of course, thank you to my Tomcat aficionado, Mr. Drew BelGeode with the purple hat, for joining us once again, taking a break out of Skyrim.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just been one hell of a week. That's all I will say. It started with my birthday. It ended with a dumpster fire, and I'm here for all of it.
Just roasting marshmallows on the embers of it. It's great. It's great. So thank you very much for joining us once again. And yeah, don't forget, folks, to check out Drew BelGeode's channel for some great works and some adventures, both in flight simulation and in the worlds of fantasy and worlds beyond. And while you're checking those out, maybe throw this video a like and maybe this channel a bit of a subscribe as well for support this one. Then you can also support and get early access to this content by supporting us over on Patreon. Links are all in the description down below. And with that, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care. Safe skies to all. Be amazing humans. And we will see you on the next episode. Bye for now.
Well,
peace out.
Fucking Cessna.